My name is Joel Gamble, former NFL player, born and raised from West Baltimore in the area of Carver High School and Coppin State University. We're going to get real excited real quick, all right? Y'all cool with that? All right, so when I say how y'all feel, y'all going to say fired up, all right? But y'all got to say it real loud, all right? You ready? All right, you ready? All right, here we go. How y'all feel? How y'all feel? How y'all feel? We ready.
Hi everyone, I'm Debbie Stokes of Three Women Voices. Today I have a special guest, Joel Gamble. He is an ex-football player, NFL, and he has now come back into his community to help the youth. Do you agree that playing sports or having an extracurricular activity saves lives?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I feel as though it saved my life. I know around the time when I was 10 years old, my parents split. I had a lot of anger built up inside of me, from that. And so I was able to use sports as an outlet to get some of my anger and frustrations out. That's what made me so good at it. And so if I didn't have that outlet, who knows how I would have used my anger and frustration. And so, I feel as though there's a lot of trauma going on with kids nowadays. There's more than just parents splitting up that they have to deal with. And so I feel sports really provides, an opportunity for kids to get their energy out in a positive way.
All right, thank you, fellas. And the guy, they're inside the stadium. Carissa Thompson is outside with fans at the GMC Tailgate. Hey, Carissa, how you doing out there?
Hi, Michael. Look at who I got out here. Oh, you guys, you're on TV. They're on their best behavior right now. Welcome, everybody, to the GMC Tailgate. We've taken you to eat brats in Green Bay. We've introduced you to fans in Cleveland, and now we're in Baltimore with an incredible group of kids who all play NFL flag football and are taught the USA football instructions because of this guy right here. The Joel Gamble Foundation allows these kids to do so many things. Your programs help the community in ways of student scholarships, NFL Play 60, and Boys and Girls Clubs, just to name a few. Earlier, we gave out these swag bags, which they got these cool jerseys. But Paige here, by the way, Michael, who's the quarterback of the team, she's very Lamar-esque. I said, hey, Paige, what do you do well? She said everything. Paige has an announcement to make for the rest of her teammates on behalf of GMC and the Ravens. Tell your teammates what they get to do tonight. We're going to the game!
In these times of drugs and violence all across the inner cities, what would you say to parents about how they can keep their children safe?
I would say the biggest thing as far as keeping children safe in these days and times is first having a moral compass or a moral foundation, that is. So a lot of times parents and just people in general have gotten out of church. And so I think that's a big part right there. That's number one, putting God first, having that foundation that people need to have in order for things to work positive in their favor. And then number two is keeping kids engaged. And so I would say, as far as keeping kids engaged, trying to find that thing that they enjoy, whether it be sports, art, music, whatever, keeping those kids engaged and actually engaged in multiple things, so that they, what they say, was it free time is a devil's workshop. And so when kids have free time, you see it all the time in the neighborhoods. They always getting into something. There's not a lot of things for kids to do in the neighborhoods these days. And so I just feel that it's parents' duties and jobs to keep these kids engaged, whether it be in camps. There's so much out here for free nowadays. I know I have a free football camp and free leagues for kids to join. And so there's dance, there's karate, there's, whatever it is that a kid likes, whether it's swimming, whatever. Get them involved, keep them involved, and make sure that you stay on them about their grades, their schooling, so that they just don't have any free time to get involved in anything
Yes, good advice.
Yeah, paying attention to your kids too nowadays. I find a lot of adults actually are on their phones when they're supposed to, be spending time with their kids. And so, if you're on the phone and you're not spending time with your kids, then the phone, then your kids are going to raise themselves.
Right.
And so, that some of those things need to change. I grew up with two parents up until about 10 years old. And then I lived with my mom on Smallwood Street in West Baltimore. And it was rough growing up in a single parent household. At that time, my mom was on welfare. Some of the experiences that I had of living in West Baltimore were seeing some of my friends succumb to gang violence, drug addiction, alcoholism, as well as some of my friends sold drugs. I stayed out of trouble because my parents did instill great values, moral values, and being a born again Christian, I was able to use my background and my knowledge to stay out of trouble and do what was right at the time. Some of the experiences that I had as a professional football player were wonderful. I was able to play for three teams during my professional career. I played for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cleveland Browns, and the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, so tell us about your organization and what you do for the community and how you help kids.
Absolutely. So the Joel Gamble Foundation, I started in 2013, and I've been doing work in the community.
I'm here to give you guys hope that you can make it. All right, if you work hard and do the best that you can, listen to your coaches, right? Listen to your parents, listen to your teachers, and get good grades in school. All right, I really appreciate you guys taking the initiative to go out and clean up your own area, your own community. That's big because we got to take care of our own community, right? Right, because it's yours. So I wanted to come out today to reward you guys for cleaning up your community today. So I'm gonna open some of these boxes and show you guys what we got, all right?
Community ever since. I started it because I saw a lack of opportunity and resources for youth. And so I wanted to provide, once I was successful in my NFL career, I wanted to provide those resources and opportunities for kids in order for them to be successful themselves.
As a former NFL player, I know how important being healthy and fit is to the game, on and off the field. You can perform well when you practice these healthy habits.
Drink water.
Choose healthy snacks.
Warm up and stretch. Stay active.
Get a good night's sleep.
And most importantly,
have fun and do your best.
We want you to win on the field and in life.
And so we started off with just a football camp, and we saw the need that there was a need for much more. Right now we have mentoring programs, flag football leagues, camps, health and wellness programs, a whole gamut of programs, literacy programs, kind of wraparound services for kids, all for free, provided so that, they can have those opportunities, resources, safe places to play, and just, so they can be kids. And so, that's what I wanted to provide.
Right, and that's awesome. That's an awesome thing to do because you have so many kids that don't have an option, and they don't have people in their life to tell them, do this as opposed to that, So what you're doing is a great thing.
And I remember growing up, I didn't have any NFL players or NBA players coming to the hood and tell me like, hey, will provide us with a free camp.
Right.
I remember all the camps cost maybe I remember the Nike camp at the time. Basketball was like $400 or $500 to get into the camp.
Wow.
And so these camps I know charge a lot, and then so that's what I wanted to provide. Something for free for the kids in the community where I grew up at that can experience a great camp, a great experience with, professional athletes and celebrities.
Myself and a friend of mine, Brandon Copeland, teamed up to actually give a shopping spree to 40 kids in the Baltimore area. We've been able to bring on board former NFL players and current NFL players, as well as the police department, to partner with us and come out and just kind of shower the kids with love.
But they don't have to pay, arm and a leg, or their parents may not have it.
Right.
They can still experience that.
Right.
Yep.
What a legacy.
Yeah. The inspiration for me working in the community now and the things that I do with youth in Baltimore and beyond is because I've seen a whole lot of kids and even some of my peers just not make it, just not have the resources, the opportunity, or the knowledge to even apply themselves and become successful in whatever field that is. And so I wanted to provide resources, opportunity for kids so that they can become successful and in turn give back themselves. And it becomes a recycling effect on our communities and minority communities.
How important do you think it is to show or introduce children to a different experience or way of thinking?
Oh, wow. Just experiences in general. I know when I started to travel or when I got outside of my neighborhood per se, it was eye-opening, just getting those experiences. I remember my mom or my aunt actually taking us down to Virginia Beach each summer. And so I look forward to that, because it was getting me outside of the hood.
Right.
And, I was able to see a lot more than I would have saw if I just stayed in my community. And so that kind of broadened my horizons. And, I remember going down to Virginia Beach and being able to walk outside with no socks on, clean streets and, whatever, just like beautiful scenery and everything. And I was just like, wow, I guess so much more than just West Baltimore. And so that kind of inspired me that, hey, I want to, have this for myself when when I'm older. And so just having those experiences and getting kids outside of the communities, not saying that everybody needs to move out or anything like that, but just having the experiences of seeing things, knowing that it's more to, life.
Now, have you seen the impact on the kids as a result of what you're doing?
Announcement for some Baltimore City students planning to go to college, and this announcement comes with some much-needed financial help. 6 students were recipients of the Joel Campbell Foundation Scholarship. 2 of the students will receive $3,000 scholarships. 4 of the students will receive $2,000 scholarships. Students were required to have a 3.0 GPA, write a 2-page essay on future plans, and had a panel interview. The City Council presented citations to the students.
I'm looking forward to, after you guys graduate college, and you will graduate, I'm looking forward to you guys coming back and giving back and seeing you guys in the community as well.
Some of the impact that I've seen, I've been giving back for years now, even when I was in the NFL. And so when I was giving back when I was in the NFL, some of the youth and high school youth that I was giving back to are now in the NFL giving back as well. So you got guys like Brandon Copeland, who's giving back in the community, who just got honored by the NFL Players Association for giving back the most amongst his peers in the NFL. You got guys like Kyle Fuller and all of these guys are in the NFL now. And and I remember when they were in high school and I was playing in the NFL. And then also on another level, you had kids that I did a student athlete program with at Carver High School, and then now in college. You had one kid, Damien, who's at Garrett College, and you have one kid, Anthony Bell, who's at University, West Virginia University. So, and then you have another kid, Xavier, who's actually in the military now. So these are kids that, you know, were in our mentoring program. You know, we provided services for those kids, and they're actually successful, and, you know, and good citizens in the community. And so seeing that, along with kids get excited about our camps every year and our leagues every year, is definitely a blessing to see. And, you know, that's what continues to keep me going, because Lord knows it's a thankless job. You know, not a lot of people want to do things for others. And so when you see the kids' faces, when you see, you know, just the success stories that it brings, it kind of keeps you going, even if you get tired. You know,
it don't feel like it
pushes
sometimes.
you. And that's like God's way of saying, like, this is His work. You know.
Well, I want to personally and publicly thank you for what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so can you give parents of school-age children some ways to keep their children positive?
And so I would say to the parents out there that's trying to give their kids some positive feedback, you know, just stay on them as far as their schoolwork is concerned. And, you know, start with, you know, when they complete their homework. They completing their homework and they get a good grade, you know, make sure you give them, you know, that positive reinforcement, like really make it a big deal, saying like, hey, I'm really proud of you. This is some of the things I do in my classroom for some of the kids that might not do all of their work, but, you know, on one day they decide to magically like get something done. I blow it up, I make it a big deal. And so I find that when I do that, a lot of the kids that don't even really want to come to class at times, they're sitting in class, they're on time. They might not even go to any other class but mine. But that positive feedback and them hearing those positive, you know, words of encouragement really go a long way for people. So same thing for parents with their kids, giving a positive feedback on the small wins. And then when the big wins come, you know, really making it a big deal. And, you know, supporting that positive. And then just keeping them on track. Like I said, focusing on your kids, making sure you're paying attention to what they're doing, and not letting YouTube and video games and everything else raise them. You know, make sure that you're raising them. And you know, you're showing them the way. You know?
So now, how did you get into the education or like teaching
profession? So before football, when I graduated from Shippensburg, I worked in the prison system with juveniles. And so I worked with kids before in the NFL, and I played in the NFL. And then once I got out of the NFL, I actually went back to working with kids in residential treatment facilities, working with kids with diagnosis, disabilities. And so I had an extensive background with working with kids. And so the school system's actually the easiest part, because dealing with kids, I've seen it all. You know, I've seen it all. Dealing with kids. And so now that I'm in the school system, you know, there's nothing that surprises me as far as behavior is concerned, coming from the prison system and residential facilities where, you know, you see all types of things. And so it kind of prepared me for working in the school system. Obviously, working with youth is a passion of mine. And so I'm passionate about helping youth and teaching youth. And so, so that's what I got into.
Okay, so now what would you teach your parents about teaching their children about survival skills?
It's funny you asked that question, because it's so sad that we have to ask that question. So I would say, as far as survival, Baltimore teaches you how to survive. You know, I'll tell you that much. You know, I learned at a young age, you know, unfortunately, not to stick around crowds when, you know, it's getting too thick. I learned how to defend myself at a young age as well. Like, you know, I didn't do a whole lot of talking. trash to anybody when they were trying to fight anything.
Right.
You know, I probably would have thrown the first punch,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
as a survival, you know, because I've seen, you know, people get stomped, all types of things. And so it's unfortunate that you do have to teach survival. But just teaching your kids to stay vigilant, know who's around you, know their surroundings, kind of keep an eye out. I know when I'm in the city, I'm always, even though I'm having a conversation, I'm always like looking around, making sure, because I've seen many times where I was having conversations with neighbors, and next thing you know, somebody's coming up the street driving, shooting, on the shootout or something. And so just being vigilant and keeping your eyes out and knowing your surroundings and knowing, if things don't look too, too right, then not to stay around, and to leave. And, and like I said, keeping God first, because, even though I've been vigilant, I know God's had, a hedge around me as far as, like the angels, because I've seen a lot. And, I've gotten past some things. So
what are some ways you think that parents, educators, community leaders, pastors should deal with preventing tragedies of kids, like suicide, drugs? Maybe it's some signs that they can see that can help prevent that type of thing.
I would say watching out for depression. If a kid is kind of standoffish, doesn't have a lot of friends, maybe, kind of finding out why that is. And like I say, keeping them involved so that they do, so that they don't have time to think about like what's going on in the neighborhood or what may be happening in their lives or whatever. But yeah, just keeping that, that compass in your household of, is my kid trying to stay in their room the whole time? Not allowing that, because a lot of parents may allow the kids to stay in their bedroom, just so they don't get bothered. But having your kid come out to eat dinner with the family, checking up on them regularly.
And learn how to communicate.
Yeah, at the dinner table, maybe that could be a thing, where you eat dinner together and talk about your day, and you be able to kind of gauge the pulse of how your child is doing at that time. And like you said, communicating. That's a huge piece. Being able to know your child, know something is wrong. Communication is more than just talking. It's body language, it's eye contact, it's all of that. Tone of voice, different things that you can tell if a person is engaged or not, or maybe if something's bothering them or whatever the case may be. So just kind of keeping an eye on that. That I think that would be huge.
And also noticing changes. That's big too. Because if they used to talk and now they're quiet. Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay. What in working with kids, what has it taught you about yourself?
I got a lot of patience.
Okay.
With kids. I got short patience with adults, but a lot of patience with kids. That's what it's taught me, because over the years I've seen other adults working with kids, and they got like a short fuse. They yelling, they upset, they mad, they angry, and I'm just like, I'm super calm always. I'm pretty sure every coworker I've ever had across the board would tell you that they probably never heard me raise my voice ever. Maybe on the football field when I'm coaching, I'm like, because it's more passion. I'm more passionate about that. But yeah, I've never yelled at a kid, never raised my voice, never will. I don't feel it's necessary to get my point across. And most of the time they're listening to more than me than the teacher that's yelling. And so, building relationship, respect, and just being able to demand that respect and build those boundaries
Right.
is huge.
I guess they love you.
Yeah, they funny. Sometimes they love me, sometimes they hate me because I have my high expectations.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't get away with stuff in my classroom. So
Okay.
yeah, but they enjoy it. I make
Right.
sure that I have lessons as far as my class is concerned. I make sure that I have lessons that's engaging, that they're not just sitting there, just bored doing. I'm not doing a whole lot of talking.
Yeah.
I want them to get involved as far as their learning is concerned. So that's important.
And I guess it really makes your day when you can see a child smile. And accomplish something.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I really like to see kids that normally don't do things in other classes actually get their work done in my class.
Okay.
Because that that really like says to me that okay, I'm doing something right.
Right.
Gotcha. And there's teachers that's been doing it for 30 years that can't get this kid to work.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for 7, and this kid's working for me just fine.
Right. Okay.
So that puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
when I'm able to get those kids that's tough, to do what they're supposed to do.
Okay. So you are an author now. Congratulations.
Absolutely, thank you.
So tell everybody the name of your book.
Okay.
What inspired it and what it's about, and how does it impact children?
Okay. So the name of my book is The Little Gladiator.
We're cheering for Baltimore native and NFL alum Joel Campbell today. Campbell has written and released his first children's book. It's called The Little Gladiator. It follows the main character as he overcomes obstacles to reach his dreams and goals. That's a look at the cover right there. Campbell's a community fixture with a foundation. It supports young people in adopting a healthy lifestyle and being prepared in the classroom. The former tight end has taken his book to several classrooms in the area to read to students. There's one of the classrooms there, Little Gladiator. It's available on Amazon right now, so we want to say a big congratulations to our friend Joel Campbell.
So it's the story behind it is I wanted to teach kids that along your journey towards your goal, you're always going to have some obstacles along the way, and people may be trying to take you off course and stop you from reaching your goal. And you want to always make sure that you never let anybody stop you from reaching your goal. Okay. And at the end of the book, it has a football picture of me. I sign it usually for people. And that's basically my story of fighting for my dream to get to the NFL and obstacles along the way.
Yeah.
And so, that's how I kind of tied it in. I'm excited about the book. I'm doing a reading tour with a friend of mine, Tavon Mason, former NFL player. And we're looking to collaborate with a book project of ours as well. So it's going to be huge. It's coming soon. It's going to be national, so stay tuned for that. Yeah.
So what y'all do is y'all go to different schools and read the book?
Right, so we both have our own children's book.
Okay.
We go to different schools, and we actually incorporate like exercise and get the kids up and moving and excited. And then we both read our books. And then at the end, we surprise them because we get sponsors to actually pay for the books for the kids.
Okay.
And so we actually surprise the kids with books to take home and sign. Okay. So that helps kids' excitement with reading, especially with our minority schools falling behind below grade level on reading. We want to create the excitement behind literacy. And so that's what we decided to do.
Okay, that's a great thing. I applaud y'all efforts, and anything that you can do for kids that's empowering is a good thing.
Right.
So do you have any last words of advice, suggestions, empowerment for parents that can help them with their kids?
So parents out there, my biggest advice, like I said earlier, is paying attention to your child, giving them that time, that focus, that attention needed, because the years are going to go by fast anyway. And so you only have a certain amount of time to mold your kid and to help develop that kid into an upstanding citizen. And I'm pretty sure that when you put in the work early and while they're young, then you will reap the benefits of it when you're older and you see them doing big things themselves. So that's what I would say is paying attention, investing in your kids, and the investment will come back.
Last question. What would you say to single women, parents, about raising a son that can help them make the journey a little easier?
I mean, it's tough. It's going to be tough. I'm pretty sure my mom would tell anybody it was tough for her. You know, we always clashed and bumped heads when I was growing up. Like I said, I had a lot of anger built up because my parents had separated. And so it's going to be tough. You know, I'm pretty sure she'll tell you it was tough raising me. You know, as well as I turned out, you know, it was tough back then, you know, dealing with, and I wasn't a bad kid back then, but I just had, you know, that anger at that time of, you know, parents splitting. So I would just say stick it out, stay in there. If you have any mentoring or any positive males that's around, you know, I know I had my god brother at the time. He would take me to play sports and stuff. And so, like, there was mentoring. There was men around. My dad still came to my sports events and all of that. So I did have positive men still in my life that, you know, were able to kind of keep me grounded and all. So mentoring helps. You know, any positive men that's around helps. You know, just getting them involved in things with other men is huge. You know, but not getting, don't get discouraged just because it's a rough time. Because still, you know, you never know. You just keeping them grounded, keeping God first, and it'll pay off. You know, it may be tough now. But once they grow up and become a man, then it's like, all right, you know, now you know everything was worth it.
Okay. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
I learned so much, and I'm sure that people are listening. I'm sure they learned a lot of things too. If anybody wanted to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
They can reach me at thejoelgamblefoundation.org, www.thejoelgamblefoundation.org. That's our website, the foundation. We have a contact page on there where they can send emails as far as if they want to support our programs or if they're looking to get their child enrolled in any programs. Currently, we have our flag football league coming up, and that's for ages 7 to 14 co-ed. So anybody that's interested in that, feel free to sign up.
And they can get your book on Amazon?
Yep, on Amazon. If you look up The Little Gladiator, or if you look up Joel Gamble, it'll pop up as well.
And I just want to say, thank you again, Joel. Okay, Joel, so show your book so everybody can see the book that you have. Yeah, put it a little closer. There you go.
Little Gladiator. You see illustrations done by me, story done by me, as the story on the back, what it's about, my background. It's filled with great pictures and a story for the kids. So make sure you go out there. If you want to purchase the book, it's on Amazon. You can just type in Joel Gamble or Little Gladiator and it'll pop up. There you go.
All right. So if you want to reach out to Three Women Voices, you can reach us at threewomenvoices.com. Our email address is threewomenvoices@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at 3_women voices. And we're on Facebook at the number 3 Women Voices. And I thank you for watching.